Toasting with the Authors 2015 with your hosts, Karen D. Neal and LJ Thomas.
Hi, I'm LJ. And I'm Karen D. We are here. This is the day. Toasting with the Authors 2015. Finally. All of these months are planning, LJ.
All of these months.
How do you feel, girl?
I am so excited, and look, we've just had a great group of people that just come in. I am very excited.
Wonderful group of people. And look who we have sitting between us. The famous Coach John Barnett.
Right.
Coach John Barnett of Ghost of the Brickyard. Been telling y'all about this. People, you need to get this book. Everybody in Thompson need a copy of this book on your coffee table. Why? Because chances are you or someone in your generation line is in this book.
That's right.
That's right. I am John Barnett. I'm a retired football coach and high school teacher. I was at Thompson High School for 28 years of my 31-year career. And after I retired, one of my coaching rivals, actually, Alvin Richardson, who had written some history books on some high school football programs, he had started asking me about writing one on Thompson. And originally he was going to write it. He really wanted me to find somebody to finance it for him. And I kind of put him off for a while, and then finally he called me again, and we hosted him on my radio show, Sports Talk with Coach and Ralph, one night, and he was talking about what it would take to write a history book of Thompson High football. And I got home that night and I tossed and turned and I could not sleep for the life of me. And I got up the next morning, and as my wife was getting ready for school, I asked her, what do you think about me helping to write a book with Alvin and you and I financing it? And she immediately said, go for it. So if it was not for my wonderful wife Kim, this book would not have been possible. But anyway, Alvin and I started writing the book. We actually did it in 6 months.
Wow!
And we released it. Actually, last Sunday was actually a year ago that it was actually released.
Yay!
And it's been pretty successful. Close to 1,100 copies.
Wow!
But this book it traces the history of Thompson High football back to its beginnings in 1911.
Wow.
And it goes up through the 2013 season. And it has it's 340 pages. It's coffee table style, hardback book. It's has over 200 pictures in it, and have every team picture from 1952 forward. Has the cheerleaders pictures in it from 1953 forward.
Wow.
And,
wow.
A lot of people have asked me what's the hardest part about writing the book, and I said, being a native, I wanted to just make sure that everything was accurate. And so as I was identifying pictures or people in the pictures, I found a lot of mistakes, misspelled names, misidentified people, and I fixed them all.
Wow.
Great.
But here's something that's kind of funny. Do you know how many different ways someone can misspell Pavlicek?
Well,
Pavlicek. There were two brothers who played here back in the early to mid 60s, and they were in several pictures, and I think their name was spelled every way but the correct way. But I have them all right. So it's been quite a journey. Of course, I've learned a lot about the business world in my retirement and marketing my own book. I've marketed it myself, primarily on Facebook. And but people ask me, would you do it again? I said, absolutely, for this, if no other reason. I had a couple of really touching experiences in selling the book. Back last December, I sold a book to some people whose father grew up here and played in the late 1950s.
Right.
And they now live in Richmond County area. And they said, we lost every picture of our father in his football uniform in a house fire.
Right.
And now we have them again.
Wow.
And so, you know, that made me feel very good. And then I was actually at a funeral visitation back in the winter, and I ran across a classmate of mine, Charles Broom. And I said, Charles, I have a picture of a gentleman named Kenneth Broom in the 1941 picture, which actually was the first year that the bricks were around the stadium. And he said, John, that was my uncle. And I'd never seen a picture of my uncle in his football uniform. The only picture I'd ever seen of him was in his Navy uniform.
Amazing.
And he was killed in World War II.
Wow.
So, you know, that picture was very special to him. And of course now that picture is very special to me, because those guys in that picture, and there's only one of them still alive, are in their 90s now.
Wow.
But, this book gives a synopsis of every season. It has detailed chapters of the 5 state championship seasons.
Okay, you got a surprise look out of this lady. To get a surprise look out of the lady that have, about 10 books and have edited God knows how many. You got that look out of that's impressive.
Well, thank you. But we wrote detailed chapters on the 5 state championship seasons.
Wow.
I wrote 9 chapters on teams that were very good but fell a little short. And if you ever coached one of those teams, they're very special to you. You know, they may not have gotten a big trophy, but they were pretty dang good and pretty special.
Wow.
And we have some chapters on people like Ray Guy, who is on the cover and is in the NFL Hall of Fame. And speaking of Ray, I want to tell you about the significance of
everybody know Ray
cover.
Guy.
Yeah, Ray.
Did you tell them about Ray Guy? Who he played for?
Oh yeah, he played for the Oakland Los Angeles Raiders.
And he's from Thompson.
In the NFL Hall of Fame. That's right. And but on the cover is Ray scoring in 1967 to beat Westminster in the state championship game for our first state championship.
Wow.
And if you notice, you probably heard the story and may not have believed it, but he actually played in that game with a broken left wrist.
Wow.
And in this picture, you can see the cast on his left wrist as he stumbles into the end zone. And I was at that ball game. I was 10 years old. And so I have attended the first 2 state championships as a child, and I coached in the other 3, so that was pretty special. But anyway, it's got some biographies on most of the coaches in the history of our program, and like I said, we've got almost every score of every game that's ever been played. And one of the things that's pretty neat about looking at this book, if you go back and you look at the pictures, you're going to see people that you know, and you may have never known that they played football, and you get to see a different side of them. So it's I feel like it's a real treasure, and it's a real keepsake.
Well, I tell you what I'm seeing, John, and I saw this, by the way, the day that you came to my house.
Right.
And I didn't share this with you. LJ know how I am, and my cousin Diane can tell you too. I have ideas running around in my head 24/7. Now, you know that I see Ghost of the Brickyard Part 2.
That'll be down the road a little bit.
Oh, well, once you finish talking to me, it's going to be closer than you think. Now, and Part 2 will have the flag corps, which was in the flag corps. That's what I went in there looking for. So we're going to go back and we're going to add flag corps. Those are people who can buy this book.
My partner actually is writing a book right now on another storied program, Carrollton, and of course they're financing that book for him, and he actually did put pictures of the band in there. The drawback of that, it's just impossible to change any identifications if they do make some mistakes, and I could not have done that, and so I chose not to put the band in this one. That's no disrespect to the band. My older daughters were in the band, but I just didn't feel like I could finance that part of it because, as you
we
know,
we understand about the finance.
The longer the book, the more pictures, the more it costs to produce it.
Well, see, that was why I see a part 2.
And I wanted to make it, affordable for people.
Exactly. Well, as I said, you don't even know it yet, but next year this time you're gonna have a part 2. And LJ and myself, we're gonna come up with the perfect title. But there will be a part 2, people. So you need to go on and get part 1 because the earlier generation is in this one right here. But part 2 is gonna pick up, and you're gonna get your future generations in it. So.
I did find out this in my research. On some of the earlier seasons, I did find out that Thompson actually started a band program in 1950.
Oh, so, really? Okay.
And something else that was dear to my heart that I put in this book was I put in a couple of pictures of some of the old R.L. Norris teams before the schools integrated.
And anybody in Thompson knows that is very historic.
And unfortunately, there were not that many of those pictures available in yearbooks. But I did put a couple of them in there, and I got I guess the best of both worlds because I went to R.L. Norris as an 8th and 9th grader, and I played. So I got to wear the royal blue and red and white as well as the black and gold at Thompson High. So I tell people that I'm a Ram and I'm a Bulldog.
That's right. Hey, well, John, thank you so much. And you all heard it. He's right here. He will be here until about 5 o'clock.
All right.
So come on up and get your books. Even if he's gone, come on out. He will leave a few books here. They are pre-autographed. Come on out and get your book.
That's
Come back at 8 o'clock because we're going to
party. After party, we have a DJ and everything. Come back.
Please come back. Thank you all so very much. John, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Very much.
Thank you for having me.
We look forward to having you next year.
All right.
Right, for 2016.
All right. Thank you.
All right.